Hey.
What's up?
What's up, everybody? It's another NFC East show. We're at episode 38, and we're broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all those other social medias, Northeast Sports Network, and Zodiac TV. What's up,
going
guys?
on?
How's it going?
Oh, it's another day,
Hey.
buddy.
Yeah, I mean it's so Dallas didn't play last week, right? You guys had off? Like
No,
they didn't
no,
lose?
no. Thursday night football.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I forgot. I forgot all the way that far back. And see, this would have been another week. This would have been another week where all of the NFC East won except for the Giants.
Thank you for bringing that up, Jamie. Thank you. I don't know what to tell you. Mike Lennon. I don't know what better way to put it. I will say this. I will say this. The man was 0-5 with the Jags last year. Okay. Career-wise, he's like 6-22 or something. Now he does have more TDs than interceptions. Okay. And I got to give him credit where credit's due. But I just don't understand the logic of why the Giants signed him and not re-signed Colt McCoy.
That's what I was about to ask you.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, just the fact that Colt McCoy would have had another year in this system, it would have benefited us. I mean, there's like things going around that people are saying in social media that they purposely signed Glennon to, because they knew he was so bad that it would make Jones look good. And if that, of course, that's not true. And for someone to come up with that type of reasoning, it would blow my mind if that would happen.
The biggest thing that always comes down to, as we all know, is money. And it could have been one of the situations where Colt McCoy was asking, for his usual, whatever that might be, $8 million, $9 million a year as a backup, and they just weren't willing to pay it.
Or we just didn't have it. Not that we were willing
that's
to
what
pay
I mean.
it. We probably didn't have it.
It comes down to money as always.
Yeah.
Even with somebody like Colt McCoy. I mean, I like Colt. I would actually like to have him as a backup, last year or so, 2 years ago. But he's one good guy, and I don't know why, the Giants didn't hold on to him. So that's something you might want to look at.
Yeah, Tom, you're right. You're so right, Tom. You're so right.
Well.
And unfortunately, this guy, Facebook.
What's up, Facebook
sir?
user?
Yep. Hope all is well.
I just noticed somebody over here down on the bottom screen wearing a shirt.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like that.
Careful
shirt.
what you wish for.
Hey,
Oh no.
I'm not feeling very confident, but I still gotta act like we're gonna win the game at least, right?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? With that type of attitude, no, you're gonna win the game. Don't put that negative energy out there.
I'm not negative. I'm a realist.
I saw Mr. Chris Bryant tweet earlier that some folks were joshing with him. There's 2 Cowboys fans were trying to, lambaste him inside the store about this weekend's game, and he had to take care of them.
At Allegiant Stadium?
No, at the grocery store here about 20 minutes ago or so.
Okay. I didn't.
Wait. What happened now?
Just BS talking. He says 2 Cowboy fans were BS talking, so he had to put them in their place. You know how Chris is.
Oh yeah, Chris is he's a good trash talker for sure.
Yeah. Well, I know a guy right there next to me.
Chris.
Well,
not sweet Chris.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he tries to be. Chris tries to be, a trash talker until he met me. and then I had to put him in his place. You can tell him I said that. You can tell him I said that.
And he still pales in comparison to me. That's okay though, because I haven't really talked much smack to Chris yet. I know that when it comes to that stuff, that I really reign supreme, and everybody else could just bap.
That we know.
No, Jamie, that's just gas. That's what you have. That's just what you have. That's not. So let's talk about the games. Let's start off with the Saints. Cowboys versus the Saints. You were going against Taysom Hill, and 4 interceptions. I mean, that should answer the question about Taysom Hill if he's ever going to be a starter in the NFL.
Yeah,
I'm not saying slam the door on his potential, but some of the decisions he made, I didn't even see the whole game because I gave up. I gave up on the Saints.
Yeah, it was the first half went the way, I thought it would go as far as what the Cowboys were doing. The overall scheme of things, the Dallas Cowboys didn't prevail as the offensive should have. There were some throws that were missed. Of course, Mr. Jones was saying that the routes weren't ran correctly, but I digress on that one. It's one of those things where you see your offense struggling the way they did, and the defense had to step it up 2 notches, maybe even 3 on this one, especially there in the third and fourth quarter where we weren't even getting a first down with the ball, on the opposing player's side of the field. That just wasn't good. I mean, 3 times we went 3 and out with 8 minutes to go. I mean, you can't do that in the NFL if you want to win these football games. But again, the defense prevailed, so I have to give kudos to that.
I mean, you guys, you knew you were going to win the game, though.
Well, I had a good feeling about it, but Taysom Hill too. He had the injured finger going into that play, just the same way that Russell Wilson apparently had.
Yeah.
Same injury, and they try to fix it up on the sideline. As far as him being a quarterback, I think the offensive play calling that they were going with, run the ball as a quarterback. You can only do that so much before the guy gets hurt.
Right.
And we were seeing that. I mean, the guy can run, the guy can play. Can he throw? Well, that's another one.
Well, and plus they had some key players that were out too.
Oh, they had a lot of key players out.
The running back, the name just escaped me. Clamar.
Yep.
Kamara, who was supposed to play and then decided not to.
Yeah.
Wait. He was given the go-ahead and said no?
I don't know about that. But
No. They said he was questionable and going to play and then decided not to play. I don't know what happened in between time.
Okay, because I heard that he was out because the person I was going against in fantasy football texted me and said he was, it was like hours before the game. If it was was it the night before? All I know is I got a text saying, "You're lucky my guy ain't starting."
Yeah, that's the thing too. All season, we know players have been in and out from injuries. The injury reports. I mean, I don't care where it is. You still have to play the game.
Mm-hmm. Next man up.
Next man up. And that's the thing that you also, as a coach, have to adjust for the player personnel. Now, here's the thing that that wasn't said much, if at all, by any of the media folks. The Dallas Cowboys did not have sufficient amount of coaches on the sideline.
Yeah,
we had to bring down one of our big dogs, Will McClay, down on the side to help out on the sidelines with the play calling and everything else. We were missing 8 coaches total.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I know your head coach was out.
Correct. And then we had several assistant coaches out, and that was the thing. We had these.
That's a good question, though, I have now. Is there a certain amount of coaches you have to have on the bench?
I don't think so. I think it's just like a player personnel. You got to have, it's next man up. Whoever's going to be there is going to be there. Whoever you want coaching is going to coach. I know.
Are there too many coaches you're allowed to have there? I mean, there's got to be some type of limit, I would assume. I mean, you can only have 53 players dressed. Actually, only 48 players dressed. You have 5 people that are allowed to be there ready to dress at a moment's notice.
Correct.
But only 48 dress.
Correct. I think there is a limit on how many there is. I can't give you an exact number. I know that, but I'm thinking it's somewhere in the realm of 15 as far as coaching staff. Because you do have the physicians and the the guys carrying the equipment and everything else. See, those guys are going to be on the sideline.
That's what I'll say this, what I've noticed. And I will say that I'm out of the four of us, I've been to very few live games considered in the group that I'm in right now. That it's to me, it's almost surprising on how few people are on the sidelines. But for some reason, when I watch it on TV, it seems like there's a whole gaggle of people. A gaggle, I think that's a word you can use. Of people on the sidelines. It's just, to me, it's just kind of amazing how there's really not that many players or even coaches on the sidelines when you're watching the game live.
Well, it's funny that because their area is only 50 yards.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They are actually, I think it's even less than that.
30
I
to
guess
30.
it's yeah. So
30, yep.
yeah, 40 yards. It's only 40 yards. So realistically, I mean, you have, when you're a camera and you're shooting that amount of space, I mean, there's only this much space. I mean, the camera's right here on me right now. If we were back further, I could fit like 12 people in there and it would look really busy. So
Right.
I don't know. That's kind of interesting, the perception from home to being at the game. That being said, you guys won against a really bad Saints team, and it didn't matter that Taysom Hill. The fact that I thought that he still had a possibility going into the fourth quarter was good. However, I mean, I didn't think they were going to win it.
Yeah, and again, it was one of those situations where the defense stepped up because the offense, they couldn't execute to get that first down. I mean, the play selection was horrible. From what I was seeing, I'm calling a spade, and that's what it was. It was just horrible offensive play calling from the sideline from Kellen Moore going in. It was.
Do you think that could have been miscommunication because of the lack of coaches?
Yeah, I think it could have been a huge factor. But again,
Okay.
it's you had guys on the sideline who had never coached before, and even if they did coach, you had players trying to coach the other players, and instead of attending to the situations that they had to pay attention to. So it made it more difficult than what people think. So coaches are a necessity and they're a must, and we just didn't have that this past game. And now again, I'm not making excuses.
But you guys still won, though. Yeah, I mean, you guys won, though.
Yeah, we won, but I'm saying as far as executing and able to get the information that's received from upstairs, as far as situational awareness from the tablets and coaching the guys on the sideline, from the running backs coach that we didn't have to everything else, these guys weren't able to pinpoint what's going on the field at the exact moments they needed to.
Yeah. So it's the most they can have is well, I guess it depends on the team because they have an average of 15 assistant coaches.
Correct.
On the sidelines. Now for your statement, True Blue, I got to tell you this: victory heals all wounds.
That it does.
So regardless if you had one coach on the sideline, if you guys got the win like you guys did, at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and I think that's a little it's a bump up. It's gonna get them going.
If and I'll be honest with you, had you guys would have lost, you could have used that as an excuse. Then of course you'd have me, one of the top dog in trash talking. No, I'm kidding. Well, no, I'm not, but I wouldn't come after you. But you'd have people that would make that as an excuse, but you guys won, so you can flip it and be like, well, see, hey, we won with less manpower.
Yeah, and seeing everything that was going on the sidelines, I mean, when I saw security taking out assistants on the golf carts out from the tunnel to there, I started looking at those guys and I say, wait a minute, those guys, I've never seen them before because they hadn't been there. They hadn't been there.
Probably because they came from the booth. That's probably why.
Yeah, exactly. So it was one of those things. Yeah, I'm very glad for the win. It still keeps us 2 games ahead of everybody else. But it was a long week.
Yeah, we're a little more than 2 games, but
Yeah, where you got nothing to do on Sunday and you got to work it out. And yeah, I know I'm gonna have that problem this Sunday. I'm not gonna sure what to do with myself.
Yeah,
that's right. You
quite
guys
a
are on a
ways
bye.
out. Yeah, bye week. That's we're in week 14 and you're getting the bye week now.
Yeah, it's like the longest. That's the last one, and of course it's us, like the Patriots. It's the teams that are going to be in the Super Bowl get the bye week now.
Well, let me ask you this, Billy.
Oh.
Since you know, you're talking about
Since the
bye
music
week.
just ended, and maybe I could actually talk for a second because it was blasting here right above my
was it?
head. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on Minshew? I mean, you basically called it that he was going to have a good game, which he did.
Well, so as of right this second, it's possible we're going to see exactly what we do have in Minshew because it was just reported that he's got a high ankle sprain, and that it's a 2 to 4 week injury, which
Wow.
puts the Washington game at week 3.
Wow.
So I don't know. I thought that Minshew had a good game. I think he was playing against a bad defense, and that when all is said and done, it's going to be.
So who are you saying had the high ankle sprain?
Hurts.
Oh. Yeah, that changes things a little bit for you guys.
So yeah, in a big way. So. And
yeah, it was interesting watching. I mean, I did watch football, but it was interesting to see the reactions coming off because I mean, you everything that you said came to be, as far as the celebrations, as far as the hyping up. I mean, just everything that came in is what you said would happen if Gardner Minshew won. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen after the bye week because he should be healed by then, I would think, 2 weeks out.
Well, they said it's a 2 to 4 week injury, so we could have a third week and it becomes a matter, I guess, if he's at 60% or 80%.
Yeah.
Who do you guys have
at the end of week 3?
Who do you guys have after us?
The Giants.
Yep.
The end of our schedule goes Washington, New York, Washington, Dallas.
Yeah, they need to do something about these schedules.
Yeah, they try to make it. They try to make it competitive. Towards the end.
Give me a second, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know they're trying to make it competitive, and I did see the NFL special on how they're running 9 clouds through Amazon, and the algorithms running, and they're running hundreds of thousands of scenarios, and then they break down but what the computer doesn't see is what we see as fans. We see the teams that we're playing. It's not just the numbers of running the wins and losses. We're seeing where they fall in line as far as fans who want to travel, the time of year that the games are, the importance of the division, and it just. I know they're trying to make the NFC East tight. I mean, the NFC has been one of the tightest races for the past 7 years, 8 years.
Yeah.
What, the NFC East or the NFC period?
NFC East.
NFC East.
I mean, we haven't had
not with us.
Consecutive back-to-back winners in a while, and I mean, even when that happens, it's just
Philadelphia Eagles back.
Yeah, that was 10, 11.
Yeah, 10, 11.
So I don't know. It is what it is, but it just puts a bind on everything else that revolves around football. And I get it.
Outside.
Well, it was getting. It's funny because the beginning of the night when we're playing darts, the sound of the music is like so super low, and then of course the moment that I get started, I feel like that they turn it up on purpose, which is really possible. So it's like, all right, I'll have to figure it out a different way.
There you go.
Yeah,
So
I saw you
let's-
come outside.
So Minshew, he went for 20 of 25, 242 yards, 2 touchdowns. Philly, I got to give you credit. You called it. You said he was going to have a big game, and he did. You know, you could take your bow if you want to, but yeah, and you did say,
but it wasn't like a.
No, I mean, you did say it's against the Jets, so that's not, you know.
Yeah, I mean, so it's not the biggest surprise to me that he was going to have it. You know, it's so when a backup quarterback comes in, and whether it's in, see, this is like even in a mid-game situation. You know, when the offense hasn't moved anything all day long, and all of a sudden you bring in a backup, and then all of a sudden the backup starts to do great. That's not really indicative of the starting quarterback. The starting quarterback may have had a tough day. They had it planned really well for him, that they made adjustments that made all that work. And that the moment you bring in a backup, the backup then now has, a completely different set of eyes that you're not prepared for. So when that all happens, I mean, unless the defense is just being like, unless somebody's just really taking advantage of somebody else, when you have somebody that's, getting 6 sacks in a game, or just is disrupting everybody, and it doesn't matter who you put in front of him, that's something that's going to affect an offense. But when you put in a new quarterback in there, just because he's going to have a different set of eyes that's going to throw it to different people, and now the guys that you had covered before aren't the main things, you got to change that around. You got to have another in-game adjustment. But you'll typically see, that's why you see a backup come in, and that's why you used to see it a lot more frequently. I remember in the 80s and 90s, it was nothing to have a backup quarterback come in the third quarter, where you got a different perspective on the game. And then the next week, that didn't mean he became the starter either.
Yep.
If it happened 4 games in a row, then you'd have a quarterback controversy, not after one game or one quarter, but that seems to be what happens now, that we don't have the backup quarterback is so now important for so many other reasons, that the moment that you go to the backup, it's automatically looked at that he's the starter in the next game. And that's not really how it should be.
No, you're right about that. I'm going to place that around the money that's involved. Just like we were talking about earlier with Colt McCoy being in there.
Yeah.
It's the money involved. It's the owner sitting there saying, well, I'm paying this guy X amount of dollars. Why is he not in there?
Right.
And then the head coach has to take that decision and move along with it. Well, I've got to do what the owner says. So again, it comes down to money. And I think that's where the controversy comes in. And we all know the media likes to jump on stuff like that. Well, backup quarterback's making less than the starting quarterback.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I kind of disagree with you there. I kind of feel that it has nothing to do with money. It has to do with now egos, and that this is part of the society now of this millennials group. You know what I mean? That the millennials are it's all about feelings now. And it's funny because these are still football players, and you don't think of them as like snowflakes, but in theory they still are.
Well,
you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is that, well, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that's where the ego comes in, is with the money. I'm making more than you. I need to be starting this game, not you.
You know what?
The owners.
You know what this reminds me of? Back in 1999, when you had Doug Flutie and Rod Johnson on the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
Doug Flutie took them to the playoffs, and then Wade Wilson chose to start Doug Jones in the playoff game. And then, you call it karma, whatever. The Buffalo Bills end up losing for that miracle in the what they call it, the miracle in the Nashville.
Music City Miracle.
The Music City Miracle. Yeah, thank you. So I think I'm going to disagree with you to an extent, Philly, about the feelings, because this is a business and it's all about wins. And I don't think the owners, I mean, I'm guessing. I'm guessing.
I hear that, but we just had this quarterback problem this way.
Yeah,
this happened in Philadelphia.
I just think owners are like, F your feelings. I want the bottom line. And it's more so, but then also True Blue. I kind of agree with you, as about the money, because then it's like maybe it's the pushing of ownership to the head coach to start the starter that they are paying that money to. Pork Rind, what do you think? What do you think?
I mean, Chicago's having that same issue.
Mm.
They got
with
3
Matt
guys.
Nagy. Yeah. So I mean, they're having that issue there. So
And there is so much writing on Fields right now that I would not be surprised if Nagy and the GM are out next year.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I would not.
I'm surprised he didn't get fired when they said he was going to get fired.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too.
And listen, we said in the beginning of the season that if there was any place that we thought Doug Peterson could go mid-season, Chicago was the place.
Right.
That's what I said at the very beginning of the season. Now, I to be honest, the fact that they didn't pull the trigger is probably more indicative of the fact that they didn't want to try to make a change in the middle of the season. And that's what that is. Like, I expect that he'll be fired in week 17, and the week 18 guy is going to be an interim guy where they're just going to announce to the NFL that we're looking for a head coach, and get the first dibs at anybody, because that's why you fire a coach in week 17, so that you could start putting the feelers out the moment week 18 is over. You could start making the phone calls.
Yeah.
So the football team had a win as well.
Another close one. Too close.
Yeah. When I saw the game, I'm gonna be honest, Pork Rind. I was thinking, I didn't watch the game, but I saw the highlights. I was thinking about you, and your, the state that you're in. Now, was it emotional for you?
Yeah, no, it definitely was. I mean, there was times like as soon as we got to Vegas, we walked around, and I told my wife that I wanted to get to the stadium. I just wanted to get there and get whatever emotions that I had out of me, so that way by Sunday I would be okay. So
how did that work out for you?
It was a long night. I was up for 28 straight hours. But she
exactly, because they don't get out. Those emotions are still there.
Yeah, they were still there. So, but yeah, my son and I went up to the stadium. We took some pictures, me holding my brother's flag and everything. And then, game day. As soon as I got to the stadium, and I had, the war paint on and everything. And I was like, I can't get teary-eyed. I can't let it run because I didn't want my makeup to run,
Right.
So, yeah.
Spoken like a true football team fan.
Hold on. Yeah, it would have been more of a meme. It'd have been more of a meme for that guy.
Yeah, it would have been.
He's like, look at all the sadness in that guy's eyes.
Exactly, right? But no, I mean, there were some emotional moments, like when they were lighting the torch and all that. That it hit me a little bit, but once the game kicked off, and I kind of just was focused on the game and not really, letting. I mean, he was on my mind the entire game, but I was focused on what was going on during the game and everything. So, but
field goal to win it too. That's crazy.
Man.
Field goal to win it.
Field goal to win it, and we just, signed him on Tuesday. So he definitely had some ice in his veins and hit that clutch field goal. And it's funny because that was on the opposite end zone from where I was, and I didn't even want to look at it. So I kind of turned. I kind of turned right when he was kicking it. I turned my head, and all the Raider fans behind me, they were like, "Oh, it's no good! It's no good!" I was like, "Fuck, here we go." And then when I turned around and I saw the refs, show the sign that it was good, I was like, oh, "Okay, all right."
You were like, "Wait a minute!"
I said, "Well, it's not over yet. It's not over yet." But no, I mean. We held them. A lot of the Raiders fans were complaining about the refs towards the end. They missed a PI call, the refs were pretty bad on both sides during the entire game.
You mean all 13 weeks?
That's what I was about to say, and it's been like that all season long. So, calls could have went both ways, but we came out victorious, and it was nice to give Las Vegas another L. And then I caught the hockey game afterwards.
Oh, what? Oh, okay. What was playing?
It was the Knights and the Flames, Calgary Flames. I just wanted to see the Knights.
A hockey game.
Yeah. And let me tell you, I love hockey, and I'm a Capitals fan, obviously, but and I like the in-game experience. But man, Vegas does it right.
See, I didn't go to a hockey game in Vegas when I was there, and I thought about it, and I was like, I'm not going there as the Phillies because the whole time I was in Vegas, I was painted up.
Right.
So it's like I didn't want to go as the Philly sports guy to a Vegas game. You know what I mean? Because it's just a different experience. However, I was considering going to your guys' game this week. Figuring getting the hate from both sides.
Oh, that's right. Because okay, yeah.
You guys are in Washington, and it's funny because I'm like, what am I going to do this weekend? I have the weekend off. And then I saw a post on Facebook, of course, where it said a confused Browns fan was at the Vikings game, the Vikings-Lions game. And I'm like, that wasn't confusing. I know exactly who that is. You know what I mean? That's Big Willie. You know what I mean? And I was like, you know what? That's kind of cool that he's, that somebody was like, well, what are you doing here? And, it was the same way when we went to the Super Bowl and we went to the What the Buck tailgate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like everybody was there. And it was, it's funny when somebody goes into a different stadium with wearing a different jersey. They're just wearing the jersey that they do. But, I mean, it's not so uncommon when you're going to Europe. They got every jersey in that stadium.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's not ridiculous.
There was actually quite a few Cowboy fans at the Raiders game last week.
Yeah, they were definitely confused. Yeah, they were trying to find Jesus so they can.
And I tell you, Cowboys fans out in Vegas are weird because they wanted the Eagles to beat the Raiders because they had crushed the Cowboys. That they were rooting for the Eagles. Now, I got to imagine that they were in Vegas and they're just saying, all right, we don't want to get beat up by Philly fans. But, I mean, it seemed a little funny to me that a Cowboys fan was rooting for the Eagles against Vegas, which I would never do.
I'm going to say because they're betting.
Yeah, that
could have been. That could have very well been. But
so, if I'm not mistaken, by the time the draft comes, there should be at least a hockey game that week, right?
Could very well be.
Yeah,
could very well be.
End of April that's the end of the season.
That's actually playoffs.
Yeah.
Don't forget Pro Bowl.
Yeah, the Pro Bowl. I tell you, the Pro Bowl is going to be really tough to get out to. I was thinking about whether I was going to be able to make the Pro Bowl, and I don't know. That's going to be really tough to make.
Yeah, maybe not this year, but next year's Pro Bowl.
Especially since I kind of expect that I'm going to be going to a couple of playoff games, and if we're going to wind up going to the Super Bowl, that it's going to be a lot of travel to have to go to the Pro Bowl and the Super Bowl in the same week. It's going to get expensive out there.
That'd be a good problem to have. I'll tell you that right now. That'd be a damn
good. I'm going to need to borrow some money, Sneaky, when that all happens.
Shit, you asking the wrong. I just got back from a trip. You asking the wrong person. We're still eating ramen and cereal. It's going to be like that for after Christmas.
I haven't even brought up the fact that I might be going back to Vegas to my wife yet. So I'm waiting until April Fool's Day, and I'll mention it to her then. And then when I'm actually leaving to go, I can say, well, I told you on April Fool's. I mean,
wasn't lying.
So I got to ask you.
You're practicing on your poker because you guys are going to all lose a bracelet to me.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's happening.
I don't know about that.
I've never played poker, so you'll probably.
All right, well, you got time. YouTube it. YouTube Texas Hold'em. Watch Sports Center.
I don't believe you even a little bit. I don't even believe you in a little bit. That ain't happening because you're not going to get that beginner's luck. That ain't happening.
I hope so.
He's gonna
I'm
wear
tell
his
you-
mask. He's gonna wear his mask with the red glasses so you can't see him.
There you go.
I'm going to tell you right now, that beginner's luck is real.
Oh, I know
And
it
it
is.
pisses you off. I'm gonna tell you, I'm speaking from experience. Now, Pork Rind, quick question.
Yep.
I do not believe in Matt Glennon whatsoever. Okay. Heineke.
Yep.
Is he the guy? Oh, and if I'm not mistaken, Fitz is out for the rest of the year because he had his surgery, hip surgery.
Yep. Fitz is out for the rest
So,
of the year. So
moving
That was one of your
forward,
tight ends.
I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you a question that I get all the time. In the draft, will the football team be looking for a quarterback, or is Heineke the guy?
I don't think this is the year for the football team to look in the draft for a quarterback. 'Cause I'm honestly not too confident with any of the quarterbacks coming out. I really think within the next 5 games, I mean, Heineke, it's his franchise to show what he's got. I mean, last year he was sleeping on his sister's couch, and this year, he's not playing bad. He's pretty much being a game manager. He's not making too many mistakes. He's not taking too many chances either. But I don't know. He's a game manager, and the one thing that I will say is they are definitely running the ball a lot more. So I don't know. I like Heineke. I like how everybody feeds off of his energy. I like his escapability on some of where the D line closes in on him, and he will get out of it, and he'll make some pretty throws here and there. But I haven't seen enough long balls from him. I mean, he's missed Terry like last week. He probably missed Terry 2 or 3 times. He had him deep and just check downs. So
Yeah, only 4 points in my fantasy made me a little upset about that.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? You
weeks in a
could have
row.
had Matt Jones. You could have had Matt Jones.
Yeah.
What
yeah,
did he
we
have,
could
like
have.
0.1? Yeah, like 0.1 point or something. 19 yards, 2 for 3.
Yeah, they only threw the ball 3 times. They ran the ball.
Yeah, he completed 2. So,
So
Well, and
Yeah.
Philly, let me ask you this, Philly. Do you believe in Manchu? Do you think he could take Jalen's
Minshew?
spot? Or I said Manchu. Jesus.
Yeah, because he's got like a Fu Manchu.
It's the
I know that's
medication
what you're
I'm taking,
thinking about. I
guys.
get it.
Yeah. I just had some codeine Robitussin, and it's kicking in quite lovely. Manchu, do you think he could take?
Minshew.
Oh my God.
All right there, Sneezy.
Yeah,
That's some
Hey,
good
Squeaky.
stuff.
no. It's about to be sleepy here in a few minutes. Watch. It's about to be
Sleepy G, man.
do you believe in him?
So here's what I think about Gardner Minshew. I am not one to judge anybody in terms of the way that they have energy, and he's a very energetic guy. That being said, and again, it was the Jets. But the thing that happened over the internet, that meme that was created because of the way that he was interacting with his father, and I'm sure you guys all saw it. You know what I mean? It
I
seemed to
did
be
it.
everywhere.
No, I haven't.
Hey, it's your pops.
Well, he yeah, and I get it, You know what I mean? That's a way that you kind of deal with that and stuff like that. But that type of excitement when you beat the Jets, what do you got when you win your first divisional game for the coach? And is it something that you got to continue to go over the top with? And I feel like that's a little bit of what he's about, and that ultimately it's not sustainable. And if it was sustainable, they would not have been looking for a quarterback in Jacksonville. That Minshew mania, the porn stash, didn't go as far as he wanted to go there. Now, you could say it had more to do with the team, could have say it had more to do with the coaching. It could have been 1,000 different things, that he may have here. What I did see is he's got a little bit better arm strength than Hurts. Not great arm strength. Now those balls weren't bullets. They had a little bit more zip. They were very accurate to a very off defense. I mean they were playing a zone defense where all you had to do was not run anywhere where the guy was in the zone because they didn't roam in their zone. They just stayed there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was easy enough to find somebody open. And when you found somebody open, they could run for 4 or 5 yards because, again, there was nobody roaming in the zone. It was just a zone. So, when we go up against Washington, I am not as confident that the game is going to look so easy for him. And if his excitement was based off of the fact that he crushed it, I want to make sure that he ain't sniffing himself too much.
It happens quite a bit.
To be able to say, okay, I got to perform now this week. And that's what I'm getting at. I feel that the other stat that I know that he did well in the passing game and he threw for over 200 and some yards, but we also rushed for over 200 yards again. And that's 3 out of 4 weeks or 3 weeks that we rushed for 200, over 200. Fourth week ago was 176 yards. So literally over the last 4 weeks, we have 800 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Well, when you're rushing the ball that well, you don't need a prolific passing offense. All you need to do is run the ball because by running the ball, you're keeping the clock, you're keeping it out of the other team's hands, you're moving the chains, and ultimately, you're putting points on the board. Now, we ran for over 200 yards against the Giants, and we didn't put points on the board because of mistakes that were made in the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
So, why pass? And that's what my thing is. Now that being said, that's why I prefer Hurts over Minshew. But I also know that if by the third quarter that attack isn't working, in the middle of the third quarter, that I'd be more confident bringing in Minshew as a backup to be able to finish the game and give us more of a chance to get back into it and maybe even spark a win. Does that mean that I want him to be my starter? No. I always want him to be the reliever.
There you go.
Okay.
And I think that works. I think that works great. You know what I mean? I think that works better. And I feel like I like that idea because they are so completely different in terms of the way that they are quarterbacks that it changes the dynamic of a game if you need the dynamic changed.
As competitive as Hurts is, and where Minshew, how he had to basically work his way to get where he's at, then he's traded, and now he's still a backup, where he was a starter at one time. I would love to be the fly on the wall in those coaches' meetings, like in that quarterback room. I would love to be the fly on the wall on that.
Yeah, it cracks me up because you got Tom's World, who I know is a Giants fan just by what of this thing he's saying. He's saying, that Minshew is way better. Obviously, you don't watch enough football beyond the Giants to be able to say that. Because if you saw exactly how Minshew plays in Jacksonville, there's no way that you would even say that you'd want to have him as a backup. He stunk in Jacksonville, and he happened to play a very weak Jets offense. If he was in there for the Giants game, it may have been a different game altogether because the Giants weren't playing great. So that's why I say bringing him in the third quarter would have been something that you could have done. And I think back to when we were playing Dallas, and in 2020, and I turned to you, True Blue, and I said, "Now's the time to bring back in Wentz." Now's the time
Yeah,
to bring
he
him in.
did.
That you needed to do that because he was going to give you a better chance. You needed to change the dynamic of the team and the way that you were looking at the game. And they should have brought him in. The fact that they didn't bring him in and they lost that game was cemented the reason. That was the reason why he didn't want to even dress the following week. So,
yeah, I
you know what I
think
mean?
to be fair, last year Jacksonville's team was just god awful. I mean, they earned that number one overall pick because you had Minshew, and then like I said, you had Matt Glennon. And I mean, I'm still in awe as to why we picked up Matt Glennon. 0-5 as a starter. It had to been his
but
stats.
sometimes
it had to been his stats.
But it had. Well, not only was it stats, it's like what type of correspondence does he have with the offensive coordinator? Like how long has he been with them? Some people just like to have the quarterback because he's really more of an assistant coach and and likes bouncing the ideas off of him. You know what I mean? That's what most backup quarterbacks are. They're not meant to go out there. They are on the field paid assistant coaches. That's what they should be.
Here's another thing too. You got to look at who was the offensive coordinator at the time of his signing.
Garrett.
Yeah, Garrett.
That's one of the key points you got to look at, and I think
And speaking of Garrett, he's rumored to be.
I know that Tom was on that.
Yeah,
I heard he was going back to Dallas. I thought he was calling some of the plays in the second half of that game.
Hopefully he'll be there.
No.
Yeah.
No. So get into this week's games. This week's going to be a fun one.
We only have two games to talk about. Let's talk about the game that's not going to matter much at all. Who are the Giants playing?
Chargers. in LA, aren't you?
Yeah, we're in LA. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No, he's not.
And as of right now, I mean, this is all I got right now. This is all I got.
I know you're tired. I know you're tired. I'm laughing at you. I'm laughing at you while you're tired. I can't. I'm not trying to do that.
And we have Jake Fromm as a starting quarterback. I got to be honest with you. He's out of Georgia. When I found out we were signing him, I remember there was some text messages that he was involved in. Almost lost his job. The Bills, as far as I know, almost released him. I'm not going to discuss what was on those text messages. You guys could Google that if you want, or if you guys want to bring it up, I'll leave that. I'll just leave it up there.
We only got 10 minutes. We'll leave the juicy stuff for next week.
Yeah, that'll work. But what really got me was I had a colleague come up to me who actually went to Georgia when he was there. And she told me that if you looked up in the dictionary of entitlement, his picture would be right there. And she didn't know, and we didn't even discuss about the text messages, that whole thing that he was involved in. So it just kind of confirms the type of person he is off the field. Now, he got to look his guys in the mirror, or not in the mirror. He got to look his guys in the eyes in the huddle this Sunday. And like I said earlier, I'm not going to say in this case all wins healed all wounds, but it would numb it for a little bit. So we got Jake Fromm against the Chargers. I know Keenan Allen is out with COVID. So if that's a
sounds like so sneaky, just about.
I don't have COVID, but good God, it's close to
He's
it.
got cold. He's got cold 2021.
Oh my God. Everybody got something in this house. But we'll see. I mean, we're not eliminated yet. I'm still holding out hope, like I always do, until we get that E by our name. But
It's about to come.
The door out. Yes, I will say the door is slowly closing. But until then, I'm holding out a glimmer of hope. So that's it. So obviously, I'm taking the Giants 21-14.
No way in hell they scored 3 touchdowns.
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna say Galladay gets his first touchdown. I'm gonna say Tony. I don't even know if Tony's playing, but if he's playing, he's gonna get his first touchdown. Evan Ingram's gonna get a touchdown.
Saquon.
Saquon
Evan Ingram for a touchdown. Is he going to get a touchdown for you guys, or is he going to give one up to
No. Ingram's going to get a touchdown, and then Barkley's going to run for 100 yards. There, I said. Oh, Cat Williams is going to have a sack. Ojulari is going to have a sack, and McKinney's going to have a pick, and Bradbury.
They're going to find Jimmy Hoffa's body. They're going to wind up digging up some oil in your backyard. You know what I mean? Like you're going to have really a fantastic weekend.
It's Texas, yeah. It is Texas. They got to go through the pool first, and then they'll get to some oil.
I wouldn't be surprised if the quarterback gets a sneak in there. For
Yeah.
one of those PDs.
Yep. I can see that. I can see that.
So I do not think it's going to be that as exciting for you guys. I think that it's going to be a really slow and painful death for you guys that day.
This whole
think
season
that you
has
guys
been a slow and
played
painful death.
your last meaningful game. Yeah, I think you guys played your last meaningful game against the Eagles. You had that circled. You guys played the best that you played. That was your Super Bowl, and you guys won that game. I'm not sure you win another game. So I have you guys losing 31-6. Maybe 13.
It's pretty close to what I had. I actually had them losing 27-9.
No,
Not getting a touchdown. I think that that's what I say. I don't think you guys get a touchdown unless there's a really bad mistake by San Diego defense, which they're capable of doing. And like I said, if you guys decided to come out spirited and actually rush Herbert up the gut, which is where he needs to be rushed. I mean, that's what you guys did to Hurts. So if you guys have that same type of game, he's liable to give up some stuff. You guys have a good safety back there who actually knows what he's doing. So he could possibly, do some damage. But realistically, my expectation is that you guys are going to get your butts beat.
I'm going to
go
30.
So now to the real game.
Well, Chubalu got to go.
It's at 38-13.
Okay.
He's got to go over. He's going over. I can imagine he's going over. I'm trying to stay under. I think that I don't know what the over-under is, but I'm assuming it's around 45, 43.5. Yeah, so that means it's going to be 31-6, 31-9.
And let me guess, San Diego is 7 points. They're giving them 7 points.
I saw 9.5.
Yeah, I think they could
okay.
give you. Yeah, I think they could give you 15, and you guys would still not cover. I would not. I know. I would not even tease this.
We don't have a starting quarterback. We don't have a starting quarterback right now.
Yeah, and that's the problem. They're going to rely on Barkley, and I see Barkley getting hurt. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Yeah, I just think it's going to be. I would make sure you're nice and comfortable in the spot that you are right now. I would get like 3 extra doses of those codeine and watch the game that way.
Oh, I'm probably going to have a codeine and a couple hottie toddies, especially if I feel this way.
There you go. Try to have the boss give you a foot massage while it's at it.
I don't like people touching my feet, believe it or not.
Good
get
enough.
her foot massage. Anyway, moving on. Football team. Let's talk about the football team. You got wait a minute, I hit the wrong button. Shit. Because I got Philly. See, I'm all jacked up right now, guys. Holy Nike.
It's the Manchu.
Oh, it's the Manchu. It's the because you're on a
All
bye.
right, so I'll have it at. Yes, the Eagles are on a bye.
Yep. So you guys are gonna lose. 45-36. Hold on, let me stop. Okay. Okay, football team, you guys got Dallas. There we go. Now let's get back on track here. Oh my God, guys. What's the points on over under on that?
48.
48. And they're giving Cowboys 4 points.
4 points, yep.
So if I'm not mistaken, they
Cowboys are
give
giving
the home
Washington
team
4
3
points.
right?
They are a home dog.
Okay.
Yeah, playing
Right,
up there.
they're saying that they're a touchdown better. Yeah, when they're giving 3 points back to Washington because they're at home.
Drew, you want to get this, or Philly? You want to start this one off?
Sure, I'll start it off since I'm the one not involved in this. I think Washington wins. Actually, it's funny because the Philadelphia fan bases, are conflicted because they want to root for Dallas. And I said, why would you want to root for Dallas? Who cares what happens between this game? Because we play Washington twice. And their thought was that by Dallas beating Washington, they knock Washington out of the playoff spot and we would take it over. Truth of the matter is that we don't take over nothing until we win a divisional game. So, I knowing exactly what I'm talking about, say, we need Washington to kind of win this game. And I think that it's right to possibly win. The one thing that I think is going to cause the issue here is that it's going to be really warm on Sunday. And I think really warm works to Dallas's advantage. And as funny as that sounds, that's going to be the actual thing that makes the difference. But I think that it's going to be more of a defensive battle. I don't think that the Dallas's offense is clicking on all cylinders. And I think that Heineke is good enough. I said at the beginning of the season that I thought Heineke, not Fitzpatrick, was going to take you guys to the playoffs. And I feel that he's still going to be your best option. And he likes to play up to the competition. And him playing against Dallas I think he's going to have a pretty good game. And that it's going to be enough. I think it's going to be, where if Dallas is going to have similar offense to the way they did against the Saints, that it's going to be a 24-20 game, 24-19 type of thing, where Dallas scores a lot of times, but it's a lot of field goals and not touchdowns. I think that that's going to be the key. You have to have them trade 7 for 3 points. And it may still come down to a field goal at the end, but I think that you guys will prevail and in a really close, well-fought game.
That's kind of what I was thinking. More so like a 25-20 type game, Washington. And this is one of these games, the divisional games, where I'm really not rooting for the football team. I'm rooting for Dallas to lose. So that's kind of how, with the division games, that's how I work. So I'm going to say the football team, I'll say 25-20. That's kind of where I was leaning at. So I think you're right. I think Heineke's going to step up, and we're gonna see where where Washington stacks. I mean, because let's not forget Washington won the division last year. So hopefully, that momentum, because you guys are what, 6
and they're on a
6
four-game
we're on a
winning
4-game
streak.
winning streak. Yep. 6 and
4-game
6
winning streak. So I mean, and you're at home, and you're playing at home.
Yeah.
And the underdog, and that should put a chip on your shoulder, and
it should.
And hopefully the sprinkler systems won't come on during the game.
I won't have to worry about that. So I hope not.
Neither will I when I go to the game, because I'm sitting right next to you. There ain't no sewage falling on me.
Nope, it won't be. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Philly said too. I think Heineke does have a good game. I think I'm hoping he gets Terry McLaurin a little bit more involved. Curtis Samuel's starting to get more snaps each week, so hopefully he's involved a little bit more too. We are going to be without Logan Thomas, which is that definitely hurts. But Jonathan Bates has been playing pretty good. He's our rookie tight end that we got from Boise State, I believe. He's been getting some more reps and get some more targets too. So I'm thinking it's going to be a 21-17 game, and I think that it's going to come down to the end where we actually score a game-winning touchdown.
True Blue.
Well, I'm excited for this game, and one reason being is that my defense is going to be coming back. I've got Tank Lawrence, I've got Randy Gregory, I've got Micah Parsons, and I'm hoping to have Neville Gallimore. If I have those four guys shoring up my run defense, it'll be the first time since week 1 against Tampa. That being said, I'm thinking we're going to do a little bit better. We're going to contain the quarterback for Washington football team, and it is going to be a close game, but I'm going with Dallas 27-23.
What a surprise.
Of course. Hey, I was right about my game last week.
Hey, you know what? I was right about my game and your game. And actually I think I was 4-0 last week.
Yeah, I was 3-1.
Yep.
I actually came close to picking the exact score for the Miami Giants game. I said 20-9.
We don't gotta talk about that. We don't need to revisit that. But I do want to say I was right about the Raider game, so I'll just leave that out there. And of course, Pork Ryan, a lot of love for you, brother. I guess that'll do it.
Yeah, it looks like you're about to fall asleep, and we got we've gone over an hour.
Yep.
We always like talking, so it's not a bad thing.
Get your rest, Sneaky.
I don't know. Yeah, man.
Yeah, time to get to bed. I got to shoot some darts. So, anyways, it was great. It was great seeing you guys again. And we'll be back next week, where there could be a lot of changes. There could be a lot of changes. It's like if you guys, no, Dallas would still be in first, right? Even with the loss.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Got it. For right this second. Yeah. Because they got more games to lose. So, but that's all right. We're going. So anyways, until next Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
Go Birds.
How about them Cowboys?
Let's go Giants.
Go football team.
Yeah, he's even a little more excited about that.